Most men are absolutely and utterly invisible. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to. The man who works in Starbucks, who's sad all the time, you won't reply to him. Neither will any other female.
I rarely find a man that gets me smitten right away.
There are just not enough attractive men out there.
Women look at only the top percentile of men.
Not in my case. I don't think that's true. No.
If you did mean a nice guy, you wouldn't mean to notice it.
Yes.
No, that's not true.
Go around Walmart and look at the men in Walmart. Ask yourself, who is f***ing these people? Because you know you won't.
Everywhere you go, you don't see people. You see numbers. Our brain rates everyone you meet, silently and automatically, like a rating system. You don't even realize you're doing it. I mean, most people don't. You notice someone different. A person who feels magnetic.
10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100.
Even when you're not looking directly at them, you feel them. That strange spatial awareness that someone just entered your radar. The thing is, how highly we place someone depends on your gender. Men and women don't rate each other the same way. When men rate women, it's more like a bell curve, a normal distribution. Most women fall somewhere in the middle. As long as she's relatively fit, well-groomed, around the same age, men will find her attractive. But women rate men differently. Their ratings follow something closer to a Pareto distribution, where a tiny percentage of men sit at the top, while everyone else doesn't even exist. That's why 80% of swipes go to 20% of the top tier men.
There are just not enough attractive men out there, and there are so many hot women.
But it's a struggle for me being a straight woman. I rarely find a man that gets me smitten right away. So I'm attracted to men, but I don't find men attractive. Do you know what I mean? You seem to understand. Yeah. Women are gorgeous. Like any woman, beautiful, look, beautiful. Any woman could walk by and take your breath away.
Most men are basically invisible. There is not a female on the planet who's invisible today. You can be a 4, overweight, fat, you'll still go to the club and get attention. 99% of the men go to the club and nobody even f***ing talks to them. If they try and talk to a girl, they get blanked and ignored and told to f***.
About 10 years ago, I was at work talking to a coworker, and she said something interesting that always stuck with me.
It must be so lucky being a guy.
Why?
As a guy, you got all these girls chasing you. I'm talking to a guy and he ghosts me. I wish I were a guy.
She didn't realize that at that time, I'd never even dated anyone, never even been kissed. But in her head, I was lumped together with the guys that she was chasing. That's called the Apex Fallacy, judging all men by the top 5%.
Most of you only interact with top-tier males. So you're like, well, I have these problems, but he has all these because he's a G. Most men ain't shit. Go walk down the high street, tell me how many of them stand a chance with you. Usually fucking 0. Most men are desperately lonely.
As the lonely guy at that time, that moment hit me hard because I realized she genuinely couldn't imagine what it's like to be invisible. And that's how resentment against men starts.
It's very easy for women to sit here and complain about the top 2% of men because I dealt with this guy, he's arrogant, blah, 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 blah. Most men don't even f***ing exist. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to.
Men have no reticular activation system for men that they don't find attractive. And so because they only notice the men they do find attractive, then all men are players. No, they're not. Most men can't cheat.
A lot of men are invisible. It seems most of the women are going after the same guy and then complaining, saying that guys aren't, excuse my language, because they're dealing with a guy who's probably dealing with 12 of them. And the guys who are in their inboxes or the guys at the library they see or the guys who are walking past them, they might have a good chance with and might have a good life with. They bypass for the shiny object.
Well, it makes sense though. Your worldview is built on what you've experienced. If you're women, your friends all get at least some male attention. Well, you get attention. And the guys that you chase, they get attention from other women. This is the thing that most guys don't realize. Most girls get an overwhelming number of approaches, even if they're not attractive.
A million have
love already.
Tonight, it's probably happened 6 or 7 times. I already been hit on. My boyfriend got mad at me, so.
I've been approached by like 5. We just got here, so. Everyone's been like, what's your number? What's your number? So I want to say at least 15 tonight.
15?
Yeah.
15 dudes came up to you.
Yeah.
You rejected all of them?
I said I have a boyfriend, but I don't.
So their whole world looks like everyone has attention. And if someone doesn't, well, there must be a fat basement dwelling incel, right? You never meet the guys who are invisible because they're invisible. And they're invisible because most men are unattractive to most women. Statistics show that the inequality of dating online is worse than 95% of the world's national economies. And before you say, but online dating isn't real life, just know that now, online dating is the norm, and its use will continue to go up. And I didn't even need to talk about this. If you're a guy, you'll know how hard it is to find a partner now. 20 years ago, it wasn't this hard, but now, because of online dating and social media, it made it so that the average woman gets bombarded by all these guys. In the Western world, we all grow up believing in equality, that everyone's on a level playing field. If anything, society teaches the opposite, that women have it harder, that we live in a patriarchy, and that men have it easy. That's why there's all these support networks for women, because culturally, we've been told that they're the disadvantaged ones. So when a woman hears, hey, maybe you're actually in a place of privilege, maybe dating is easier for you, it feels like an attack because it contradicts everything she's been taught about the world. Suddenly, she's not the underdog anymore. She's the one with a huge advantage. And no one likes admitting that they're privileged. So, to protect that worldview, it's easier to say, men are just bad at communicating, or men aren't trying hard enough. It's the same logic as a Nepo baby CEO kid saying, I'm rich because I work hard, when in reality, he was born in a rich family, private schools, trust funds, and connections. If he admitted his life was built on the backs of bottom-line workers who built his company, hate would be drawn onto him, and it would downplay his last work. Admitting privilege feels like admitting your lack is easier. So instead, the blame shifts to men's fault, like communication.
I don't think most women can actually genuinely understand how lonely the majority of men are. There are men out here in the world who have genuine loneliness. And I can prove this statistically. Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves?
But could we blame this on lack of communication?
What advice would you give a man who no longer wants to be invisible to women?
No longer wants to? Put yourself out there. Go talk with girls.
The men with absolutely zero partners, they certainly try communication. You're just ignoring their DM.
Women get an overwhelming number of approaches, and guys asking them out on dates. But most girls don't realize that most young guys can't even get a date in the first place. They assume everyone gets an opportunity to at least get a date. Well, because women are overwhelmed by options, the guys asking them out. The reason is because looks is the main barrier. Most women don't realize they reject men before they even get a chance to talk to them. Let's present a scenario. You're a woman sitting down on the train, going home. There's guys messaging you constantly, but none of them interest you. Meanwhile, you're looking up a key guy on Instagram, but you're too shy to message him. Then you go home. Hold up. Did you miss something? Let's rewind back. All this time, there was a guy sitting down. He's an IT worker who just got off the shift after being caressed by his boss. He has his own life, his own interests, but he wasn't even acknowledged by the girl in the first place. He was just background noise. Girls would say, there's someone out for everyone, but if you reject him, what makes you think that any other girl would say yes to him? And that's the thing most women don't even realize. The reality is, Most guys are like this.
I got a challenge for every woman watching. Go outside, and today I want you to count how many men, period, you run into. For one full day, I bet you if you're outside in the world, it would be more than 100. Now, every man, he might have been an Uber driver, he might have been a doorman, he might have been the gardener, he might have been the Amazon delivery guy, and a woman will say, yeah, I ran across 100 men, but none of them were their option. These men were virtually invisible because she has her eye on one guy.
But they get ignored, rejected, even before he's given an opportunity to showcase who he is, what he does, and what his interests are.
Look, I'm not the one with the problem, okay? It's the world that seems to have a problem with me. People take one look at me and go, ah! They judge me before they even know me. That's why I'm better off alone.
Statistically, dating's gotten worse. If more than 60% of men are single and only 30% of women are, who are the women dating? When I was lonely, I wanted women, but they didn't want me. Then, when my sexual marketplace value went up, everything flipped. Suddenly, I had options. I was seeing multiple women, sometimes not even replying back, sometimes flaking. And what shocked me was, they were still invested in me, even though I was being a bad partner. And that's when it hit me. That this whole thing, that dating isn't even. All my life I was told that dating was fair, that it's equal, that guys have it easy. But when I started seeing how things actually worked, it blew my mind. Most women are competing for the same small group of men, the ones they see as high status. That's called hypergamy. Women naturally want to date up, and because of that, they'll sometimes put up with things they usually wouldn't, just for the chance to be with the guy that they desire.
Is that we have to understand we live in a world where women have a natural inclination to align themselves with the top tier males. You see these chicks, they see a rapper in the club, they want to f with the rapper. Do you think they believe that rapper is loyal? No, they don't give a f. He's the dong.
For a partner, most women look at only the top percentile of men.
Not in my case.
I don't think that's true. No.
If you did meet a nice guy, you wouldn't even notice him.
Yes. No, that's not true.
I agree.
Jeremy knows me very well. No, that's not true.
But I want you to do this. Go around Walmart and look at the men in Walmart. Really look at them and ask yourself, who is fucking these people? Because you know you won't.
No, hell no.
It's not fair, but that's reality. When value gets concentrated at the top, attention gets lopsided, and the rest of the guys are left invisible. It took me a while to accept that, but once I did, I stopped complaining and started changing. You need to understand that every girl has a minimum threshold for dating in looks. But the issue is, most guys don't meet that. Most guys are seen as unattractive to most girls. That's why you need to work on your looks, most importantly. Looks get your foot through the door, but if the door is locked, you won't even get a chance to talk to a girl in the first place. So, how did I change about loneliness situation? One thing I did was Nichemaxxing. Every girl has the time. Even the most attractive guy isn't every girl's cup of tea. Women mentally categorize you the moment they see you. If you just look like everyone else, you get put in the average box. Heck, more like the recycling bin. She doesn't even notice your existence. But when you define your niche clearly, your style, your aesthetic, your energy, you suddenly get on her radar. I call this Nichemaxxing, the deliberate pursuit of fitting in an idealized, cool identity that you align with, and expressing that clearly. You need to be clear about your identity and aesthetic. Find out what niche you like best. Here are a couple. You need to specifically tell your outfit to look like that. Bling up as well. At first, you might think it's a bit pushing it over the edge, and it will definitely feel uncomfortable at first. Would people stare because it's too much over the edge? Just so long as you're conscious of your outfit not being too much, you won't push that line. I mean, it's a delicate balance, but you can go too far.
Good, how are you? So tell me, are you an anime character, right?
No, it's Ariel game. It's me. It's who I am.
Okay. All right. So what do you do?
Sailing flowers, design.
Design. Oh,
Design.
makes sense.
I hope it shows, you know.
So find your right balance. But it's always better to stand out rather than being invisible in a sea of single lonely men. You don't fix invisibility by complaining about it, but by nichemaxxing yourself into someone that stands out or looks good. You're not lonely. She just doesn't even realize you exist because you're invisible, but that's something that you can change. I was lost too. Now it's your turn to shine.